Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone. Today we are going to present our case study of Seminar 2 on the topic of the current initiatives in environment-related management accounting. First of all, let me introduce our group members. Our group members consist of Muhammad Afif Afiq, Siti Nur Afifah, Nur Atikah, Nurul Syafiqah, and me, myself, Nur Fatihah binti Ismail, and my metric number is 2020 966 305. Now, moving to the outline of our presentation. We will be discussing on the definition of EMA and EMS that will be presented by me myself. Next is on the current initiatives in EMA, which will be presented by Nurul Syafiqah. Muhammad Afif Afiq will be presenting on the summary of the case study, which is retaining competitive advantages in commodities of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, BPCL. Next, Siti Nur Afifah will be presenting on issues faced by Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. There must have been ways to counter every issues. So Nur Atikah will be presenting on the current initiatives taken by BPCL to overcome the issues. Lastly, the conclusion will be presented by me, Nur Fatihah. And now, let's proceed to the first section, the definition of EMA and EMS. EMA. What is EMA? Environmental Management Accounting, which consists of management accounting system and practices that provide information about the environmental impact of an organization's activities. Environmental management accounting is the generation and analysis of both for non-financial and also financial information in order to support the internal environmental management processes. The first information for the internal decision-making is physical information, which is about the use, flows, and outcomes of energy, water, and materials, including waste. Meanwhile, the monetary information is on the environmental-related costs, earnings, and also saving. Now, we move to the two types of techniques. The technique used by environmental management accounting can be categorized into two, which are physically oriented EMA and financially oriented EMA. Firstly, physically oriented EMA is a technique that focuses on supplying information to the management that accounts for the organization impact on the natural environment. Meanwhile, for the financially oriented EMA, it is a technique that has a variety, which are environmental costs, environmentally induced revenue, environmentally induced capital, environmental product costing, and environmental performance indicator. Next, I will explain about EMS. So, what is EMS? EMS is an environmental management system. It is a framework that helps an organization to achieve its environmental goals through consistent review, education, and improve of its environmental performance. The benefits of EMS is a company can minimize their environmental risks. They will be able to determine whether their business activity gives a negative impact or not to the environment. Next, it gives the best option for the company to maximize their resources. Maximizing the resources is closely aligned with the waste reduction. When a company or when a business can get more than one use out of their raw material, these can give huge benefit to the company. And that's all from me about EMA and EMS. Next, I'll be passed to Nurul Syafiqah to explain about the current initiative in EMA.
Thank you, Fatihah, for explaining about EMA and EMS. Before I proceed for the next part, I will introduce myself first. My name is Nurul Syafiqah binti Maknor and my metric number is 2020960369. Now, I will explain about the current initiative in environment related to management accounting. Current initiative is a specific projects or programs undertaken to achieve specific objective in the near term, such as to reduce costs, increase efficiency, and improve sales performance. There are several current initiatives in environment which are eco-efficiency, environmental performance evaluation, waste management, environment life cycle costing, and the last one is environment supply chain management. All of these initiatives will be explained in detail on the next slide. Eco-efficiency is one of the current initiatives in environment. What is eco-efficiency? Eco-efficiency means creating more goods and services while using fewer resources. In a simple words, doing more with less. In a situation where a company practices eco-efficiency, the company will work towards reducing the ecological damage toward the environment to a minimum level while at the same time maximizing efficiency. This can be applied to all business aspects, from purchasing and production to marketing and distributions. Did you know where the term of eco-efficiency comes from? The term of eco-efficiency was coined by the World Business Council for Sustainable Development in its 1992 publication, which is Changing Costs. The purposes of eco-efficiency are to encourage companies to be more environmentally responsible yet still profitable, since they use less virgin resources, water and energy, generate less waste and pollution, improve production methods, develop new products or services, and use or recycle existing materials. And it's also to promote the creation value in a business by using a technology and changes of process while with the aim of reducing the resources used and environmental impact through products and services. By implementing eco-efficiency, it gives business a greater understanding of their activities and impacts, as eco-efficiency requires the development of organizational, financial, and environmental profiles. Second initiative is Environmental Performance Evaluation, EPE. EPE is an internal management process that provides information to facilitate management decisions regarding an organization's environmental performance. This is supported by ISO 14001, which is set requirement for an environmental management system, and ISO 14031, which is give guidance on the design and use of environmental performance evaluation. This provides a strong and repeatable process to compare past and present environmental performance using key performance indicators. There are three types of indicators, which are Environmental Condition Indicators, ECI, which is for presenting achievement in context, and the second one is Operational Performance Indicators, OPI, which is used to demonstrate change in resource use, and the last one is Management Performance Indicators, MPI, which is for showing cost savings and improvements in training. EPE can be done by requires a systematic approach, which is PDCA cycle. P stands for plan, which is by selecting which indicators to be used for EPE. D stands for do, by gathering and analyzing data and create information. C stands for check, which is to study the actual result that collected in do step and compare against the expected result from the plan step. And the last step is A, which stands for act, by carrying out corrective actions on significant differences between actual and planned results. If the businesses use this initiative, the business can provide transparency about the environmental aspects and related environmental aspects. Environmental aspects is the interactions of the company with the environment, whether it is through their activities, products, or services. For example, discharge of waste to water, the gas emission in the air, and the usage of natural resources. The related environment impacts is the changes of the environment caused by those interactions, whether it is a good change or a bad change. For example, the discharge of wastewater can cause water pollution, which is a bad change. Moreover, it's also to demonstrate how an organization mitigates these impacts to improve performance over time. The third initiative is waste management. Waste management is the process and actions that necessary to manage waste from its inception to its final disposal. Waste can be categorized into two types, which are solid waste and liquid waste. But both waste may affect the bad environmental issues and also affect the human health as well. This can bring negative impact in the organization. Reduce, reuse, recycle are examples of waste management. Waste management helps to provide hygienic, efficient, and cost-effective solid waste storage, collection, transportation, and waste treatment or disposal without polluting the atmosphere, soil, or water system. Next is Environmental Life Cycle Costing, ELCC. ELCC, what is ELCC? ELCC is an accumulation of costs that are directly derived by users such as R&D department and marketing department that involve in products life cycle. The purposes of ELCC are to reduce total cost of product with the help of eco-friendly alternative. Instead of the company need to acquire new raw material to produce a product, they only have to use the waste in order to produce a product. For this initiative to be successfully implemented by the organization, a complementary life cycle assessment with the equivalent boundaries and functional unit is also required. The last current initiative is Environmental Supply Chain Management, ESCM. What is ESCM? ESCM is a key part of sustainable business strategy. It converts management of all significant environmental impacts from our company supply chain throughout the life cycle of products and services. The most significant impacts are caused by outside companies' activities. ESCM also engaging with suppliers by applying the precautionary approach, promoting greater environmental responsibility, and by using clean technologies. The example of environmental impacts are water pollution, toxic waste, air pollution, and so on. All of these impacts can cause harm to both environment and humans. The purposes of ESCM are to eliminate and minimize waste such as energy, hazardous greenhouse gas, and solid waste. The second purpose is to help the organizations to develop strategies which lead to have a high level of profitability due to reduce their environmental risk and increase their environmental efficiency. And the last one is to assist business to become more environmentally friendly. ESCM can be done by implementing the eco-labeling by suppliers or selection of products materials. Eco-labeling by suppliers is like get a product eco-label or be a part of eco-labeling program. While selection of product material is like consider the factor of recycling or attempt to have a cleaner production. That's all for the current initiative in environment related to management accounting. Now, I will pass to Afif Afiq for presenting the summary of the case of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited.
Thank you to Shafiqah. Hi, my name is Muhammad Afif Afiq bin Muhammad Rizwan, and I'm going to continue this presentation with the summary of the case. I will start with the company background first. BPCL started as Burma Shell Refineries Limited in 1952, which then it was rebranded to Bharat Petroleum Corporate Limited in 1977. The company was headquartered in Mumbai, India. Their main business activity are petroleum business, which they provide a wide range of products such as diesel, kerosene, gasoline, liquefied petroleum gas, and also a lot of automotive oils. They also involve in exploring and discovering any potential oil rigs. They are also involved in managing the retailers that they have across India. The aim of the company is to become the most admired global energy company, leveraging talent and technology. Now we move to the case study background. There are three companies that monopoly the oil and gas in India, which is BPCL, IOCL, and HPCL. Their contribution to the development of India are massive. However, in the 1990s, their monopoly was over. After the Indian market opened up to the foreign and private players to enter the oil and gas market in India. The entry of foreign players might cause them to lose their customers because they have a bigger reputation than BPCL. It is also harder for them to remain competitive when the company was managed by the government and they have no control over the company. There is another challenges that they are facing, which is their product is being copied by the competitors. This will make it even harder for them to stay one step ahead from their competitors. That's all from me. Now I will pass to the Afifah to explain on the issues that the companies are facing.
Thank you, Afif. Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Siti Nur Afifa and I will be discussing on the issues faced by Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, or known as BPCL. We have further discussed on the EMA, EMS, the current initiative in EMA, and also the summary of our case study, which is retaining competitive advantages in commodities by Sanjay Mohapatra and Debananda Patra. Let us look at on the issues faced by Bharat. Every company faces challenges in ensuring the continuity of the business and its competitive advantage. All businesses need to be aware of the Porter's five forces model, which is threats of new entrants, the bargaining power of buyers, the bargaining power of suppliers, the threat of substitute products and services, and the intensity of rivalry among competitors in an industry. The issues faced by Bharat to maintain its competitiveness in the petroleum industry are: main players in the industry such as Shell, ExxonMobil, and Reliance offer competitive advantage through the public-private partnership model. This can be seen in the page 1 and 2 of our case study, where it mentioned that the tie-ups created an additional distribution channel which increased the availability of products for the competitors and also led to reduced marketing costs as they jointly promoted the new product through on-ground marketing and sales promotion activities. This is an issue for Bharat as a government of India own and control oil and gas company. They need to strengthen their management strategy to develop a more efficient ways of lowering costs and maximizing the profit without being able to control the retail price, so that Bharat can surpass their competitors in the petroleum industry. It can be in the form of EMA as an initiative to preserve the environment as well as lowering the cost by minimizing the environmental risk. The second issue is that Bharat do not have any control on retail price as it is decided by the government. This can be found in the second page of our case study, which has been mentioned before that Bharat was a government of India owned and controlled oil and gas company that operated in the petroleum business and dealt with the discovery and exploration of sites, managing retail outlets and investment in oil and gas related opportunities in India and abroad. This has become an issue to Bharat as they cannot set their own retail price, hence makes it harder for them to focus on managing their environmental management accounting process, as they need to find various ways to enhance its operational strategy, and this cannot only be focused on environmental but operational strategy in general to maintain the competitive advantages and sustainability of Bharat in the petroleum industry. The third issue is that two of models used in Bharat's petroleum retailing business in India are problematic. This can be seen in the page 2 and 3 of our case study, where it stated that there are three models of operation used by Bharat, which is FOFO, FOCO, and COCO. Two of these models have been facing issues that lead to failure in implementation of effective EMA system in both models. The issues are there is no going concern concept in the business of FOCO, as they can terminate the agreement as they wish and give the land to someone else for higher profits. This will result in business discontinuity for Bharat. Next issue is an inconsistency in pricing and sometimes the quality of FOFO. There have been complaints regarding the inconsistency in pricing and sometimes the quality. This is not within the guidelines outlined by Bharat as the franchisor. This has become an issue to Bharat as they need to incur more costs in solving those problems instead of focusing on implementing environmental management in the models. The fourth issue is that company-owned, company-operated COCO model had been emulated. Strategic competitiveness still could not be achieved. This can be seen in the third page of our case study, where it is mentioned that public sector undertaking companies such as HPCL, IOCL, as well as private companies such as Shell and Reliance had imitated the COCO models in their business. The new players also had joined the market and followed the COCO model. Referring to the Porter's five forces model, this can be categorized as threat of new entrants, substitute services, and the intensity of rivalry among competitors in an industry. This is an issue to Bharat as it drives the company to enhance more activities to increase Bharat's competitive advantage, and implementing EMA is one of the ways of empower the credibility of Bharat's corporate reporting. The fifth issue is that challenge of attrition. Attrition is a gradual decrease in number or strength because of constant stress. This could lead to decrease in sales figures or number of employees. This can be seen in the page 3 of our case study. It is mentioned there that attrition was another challenge as the skilled employees might look for better opportunities and left the job within the short period of time. Meanwhile, some employees might leave the job if they got a not so arduous or strenuous job as well, or in a simple word, they would shift for a not so difficult job as it reduces stress. Hence, the attrition can be lowered. The employees in Barat also credited with only 1 day's leave for every 6 working days, and this may lead to stress as they do not have enough time to rest and be off from work. This is a serious issue as employees' happiness led to a good performance of their works. EMA could be the best way in preserving the employees' and stakeholders' well-being as a whole. The sixth issue is that challenges to satisfy all employees and assigning them the right job scope. This can be found in the page 3 and 4 of our case study, as it mentioned that DSMs works in two-wheeler base barely got any free time in their entire 8-hour shift, while DSMs managing four-wheeler base were comparatively less burdened. There were also instances of customer complaint due to the employees' inability to deal suitably with the customer as they have lack of skill experiences in their job scope due to improper training. Barat is facing this issue among its employees, and this has built awareness to Barat in providing a proper and ethical EMA initiative to give full satisfaction towards the employees and boost its company sales through the proper work delegation. The seventh issue faced by Barat is that loss of some institutional customers. This is stated in the page 4 of our case study, where it mentioned that although the no credit policy had allowed the maintenance of proper cash flows, but it had resulted in the loss of some institutional customers as these high volume customers preferred filling at outlets which gave a credit period of 3 to 4 weeks. Barat is facing problem in retaining the customer that preferred credit basis in doing the payment, and as a result, this has empowered Barat to come out with good EMA initiative to eliminate issues and increase the customer retention, as well to attract more new customers to get the service from Barat. The second last issue is that Barat recruited employees through referral scheme that do not warrant any further reference checks. This can be seen in the page 5 of our case study, where it states that the internal recruitment method that sources new employees from the family and friends or their current staff through the referral scheme do not warrant any further reference checks. This may lead to conflict of interest and the absence of transparency concept. It will cause problem to Barat if they hire an unskilled employee without good working history, as they do not perform further validation of reference checks on the employees to know more about the employee's performance. This will lead to breakdown of EMA initiative as the employee cannot perform within the code of conduct outlined by Barat in implementing the EMA. The ninth and last issue is that Barat is subject to change in legislative and environmental regulation. This can be seen in the page 5 of our case study, which stated that the legislative and environmental regulations seek for changes in engine design and modification in the fuel use. Disruptive technologies or radical improvement in technologies such as eco-friendly electrical and hybrid vehicle may pose a threat to petroleum industry and Barat, because this has become an issue to Barat as they need to come out with ongoing strategic plan in maintaining its competitive advantage and to stay relevant in the market. Various initiatives relating to EMA has been implemented by Barat in boosting their brands to stay competitive in the petroleum industry. I shall pass to my friend Nur Atika to further explain on the current initiative taken by Barat to overcome these issues faced by them. Thank you.
Thank you, Afifah. Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Atika and I'll be presenting the current initiative taken by Barat Petroleum Corporation Ltd or BPCL to overcome the issues faced by them. Now that we have looked at the further discussion on summary of the case study and current issues faced by BPCL, now we shall look at the current initiative to overcome the issue faced by BPCL. Based on issue 1 and 2, BPCL decided to formulate operational strategies to retain and attract new customers as an initiative to compete with its competitors. As BPCL also cannot set their own retail price, therefore the company needs to enhance its operational strategies to increase their profitability to attract more customers and increase its customer loyalty. Based on Exhibit 2 in our case study, the premium benefit provided for customers were Smart Fleet. Smart Fleet Card is a loyalty program for fleet owners that manage at least 5 vehicles, offering convenience of payment security, credit, MIS rewards, and vehicle tracking facilities. While Petrol Bonus Fuel Card is a program that was launched to build a long-term relationship with retail customers. This program enhanced the cashless convenience and the security of paying for fuel and purchases in convenience store. These customers also can earn loyalty points for every transaction and redeem for a gift at outlets. Next is Smart Drive. BPCL has developed an in-house app which provides information regarding fuel services and nearest fuel station. This app also collects the details of customers and their vehicles to send regular reminder for insurance, servicing, and pollution checks. Through this app, customers can check the details of their loyalty program, locate for nearest hospital or police station in case of emergency, and give feedback or file a complaint regarding the product or services of BPCL. The COCO outlet also has an in and out convenience store, 2 ATM machines, and free air pressure checkup kiosks. The customer got to fuel their vehicles and shop at the same place. BPCL also gives right to its customer to involve in quality checks to gain customer loyalty and trust by using filter paper tests and quantity tests. The result will be sent through text messages to ensure transparency on each transaction and gain customer trust by giving them the right quality and quantity of the flow. These are initiatives taken in relation to enhance its EMA system and strategic advantage in the petroleum industry. The initiative provided by BPCL not only helps the company to outperform its competitors but enhance both shareholders and customer value. The third issue emphasizes on the problem related to the two models in BPCL's petroleum retailing business, which is the franchisee-owned company operated (FOCO) and franchisee-owned franchisee operated (FOFO). The business in both models were owned by franchisee, and incurring more costs to help boost both models is not a good plan for BPCL, as both models does not offer high profit. Therefore, BPCL focusing on implementing strategy in improving COCO as the benefits are fully owned by BPCL. There is various strategy taken by BPCL to improve its COCO outlet. For example, COCO outlet were set up on major highways, provide in and out convenience store, proper payment method, quality check, and so on. Therefore, this initiative helped BPCL in reducing the cost and maximizing its profit as well as increasing its business value. Barrett has been able to set better strategic goals of its EMA by focusing on a more profitable outlet. For the fourth issue, the award being imitated by other companies, BPCL encountered the problem by enhancing the strategy on COCO outlet to stay competitive in the industry. For example, BPCL set up the outlets on major highways to have strategic advantage as it's a strategic place, hence easier to gain more customers. COCO outlets also had been designed to look spacious and contain traffic and be able to service segmented customers even during peak hours. The layout design improved the customer satisfaction by reducing the waiting period for different customers. The COCO petrol outlet carry out the quality checks of a few every day to ensure the customer loyalty, and the in and out convenience store also attract the customers as they usually have to fuel vehicles, shop, and collect the reward at the same time. The COCO outlet was managed by ex-military personnel, which is Colonel Mohapatra, and the employees were properly trained by him to perform a better job. COCO is a benefit to BPCL as it increased and empowered the credibility of BPCL. A proper management team has helped COCO outlet to operate with a good and ethical EMA system. For the issue number 5, Bharat takes a solution by improving working conditions to reduce the attrition. By improving the working condition, the employees will be more motivated to carry out their work and it helps them feel less stressed. Based on page 4, it was mentioned that Colin Mahapatra put in much effort and had come up with initiative to keep the employees motivated and engaged in such stressful, fast-paced environment, which is by doing job rotation and shift changes. This situation can help in reducing attrition to a bare minimum of around 3 to 4% because the employees are engaged with their work as they rotate their work with another employee. Thus, job rotation also helps to reduce the challenges of an employee to perform a good job every time because they might get less burden job. This can be best way in preserving the employee and stakeholders' well-being, as the happiness of the employees are important in elevating the brand image of the company. EMA process can be applied successfully in a good working environment. For the sixth issue, as a solution, the forecourt supervisor segmented the incoming vehicles and directed them to their designated outlets to minimum the crowding at the base. 4 bays were reserved for 4-wheelers, 2 bays each for heavy carriage vehicles and auto rickshaws, and the remaining 8 bays are catered for 2-wheelers to ensure the smoothness of the service at the base. Colonel Mohapatra also trained the employee to make sure they are able to manage the customers. The management also kept 1% reserved for duty in case of unavoidable circumstances if an employee failed to turn up. The job rotation also has provided job satisfaction to the employees as they are being treated equally. Based on page 4, Colonel Mohapatra trained his employee to ensure they perform well before transferring them to the petrol pump base to ensure the service provided can give full satisfaction to the customer, thus increase the company's sales. The employee can perform at their best and apply the EMA effectively in their daily work. For issue of losing customer due to no credit policy, BPCL provided initiative by making payment through credit or debit cards as stated in page 4. The payment made through credit or debit card usually don't take much time rather than using cash. Therefore, this initiative is well planned as customers prefer minimum waiting time and to avoid the hassle transaction during payment. The management also had 2 people with card reading machine at each shift For the purpose to increase customer satisfaction in conducting the EMA, Bharat has also taken an initiative in issuing the receipt of payment via text messages to reduce paper usage and help preserve the environment from pollution and global warming, hence achieve eco-efficiency. For the issue number 8, based on page 5, the company overcome the issue by all new employee recruiter must do a work fitness assessment to understand whether the task can be effectively performed. Every new employee would start his career in the air pressure section, which help the employer in assessing his business acumen, fitness and temperament required for the job. The employee would be transferred to the petrol pump base to get on-the-job training depending on his performance. Employees also made to understand the workplace values as their involvement and enthusiasm are essential to deliver the optimal product and services BPCL is known for. The management also credited employees with 1 day's leave for every 6 working days to rest and gain their energy for better performance on the next day. For the last issue, as a solution, the chairman and managing director of BPCL planning to invest 1 trillion rupees in the next 5 years under the Project Sangkap to have a global presence and potentially double its revenue and profit as the company have more headroom for business expansion due to lower crude oil prices and reduced losses on fuel sales. This strategic plan is necessary to boost brand image of BPCL to stay competitive and remain the demand pattern in the petroleum industry, especially in the future, so that petroleum industry keep growing in the future. This is also to ensure the continuity of EMA process that has been carried out by Bharat. As we can see, it is proven that EMA are related to every implementation made by Bharat for the better future of the company. Therefore, I shall pass the presentation to Nur Fatihah to conclude our case study.
Thank you, Nur Atika. Environmental management accounting are management accounting practices that provide information about the environmental impact of an organization's activities. Environmental risks cannot be ignored since it will give bad reputation to the company image and adverse impact to the business as well as their financial performance. Environmental management accounts may help companies to identify their inefficiencies and wasteful practices, and therefore it will give opportunities for the company to practice cost savings. The current initiatives in environmental related management accounting that companies can apply, including compliance with regulation, purchasing energy saving machinery, cost reductions, and the most important thing is the top management commitment. When the companies practice current initiatives environmental related management accounting, the company can improve their sales or revenue and also can reduce sales erosions. When consumers are aware of the environmental conditions, they will prefer products and services that do not have a negative impact to the environment. Lastly, when companies take care about the environment, actually the company also improves their business reputation. A good reputation of a company will give competitive advantage to the business, better product pricing, and also increase shareholder value. The company is able to charge their products and services at higher prices to the consumers because, however is it, consumers will still prefer their products or services because of their good reputation. Cost saving, resources saving, and better cost pricing are obvious advantages that are experienced by EMA implementing companies. Environmental costs cover all costs incurred concerning environmental protection, such as emission treatment, as well as wasted material, capital, and also labor. And all of these called as non-products output as a result of inefficiency in production activities. So that's all from us. Thank you.